147% return on investment. These numbers don't lie. That's only over a 10-month period. And I just think if you're not into Landa already, you're truly missing out on a big opportunity. Hello everyone, welcome back to Coaching F.I.R.E. David, your coach here, and I'm super excited as we're going to get back into another Landa update. I'm going to tell you about our dividends as well as kind of how I've discovered their return and how they value your account, because I know some of you have probably seen the property growth on these investments is quite crazy, and maybe it's valued a little bit too high and a little bit obnoxious. Maybe it's not all real, and that's kind of what I wanted to break down today, and how they got their number of what they think you should be paying. So to start with, we'll just go through the dividends I got. I'll pull them up here, and as you can see, Oakview does the same old, the 228, not much of a change there. The same is for my lake property. The lake property, again, no change, same as last month. Exeter, same as last month as well. The consistency is actually very nice. It means you don't have to go into the property pages, you don't have to try and figure out what happened or if there was any changes at all, really. You just, collect the money. So that's I enjoy seeing not much of a change, or possibly a positive change. But if there's negative changes, then I do need to go in and find out what's going on. So as you can see, Winter still hasn't paid me for 3 months now. It still says it's vacant on the property page, but a 3-month vacancy is kind of long. I'm not sure what's going on. Maybe it's worth reaching out to Landa about if it continues, because a 3-month vacancy is quite a long time. Maybe they need to consider dropping the rental asking price, or I'm not sure what steps we could take, but it's better to have something coming in than nothing. So I'm not sure why it's taken them so long to get a new tenant. Then my Parliament property did extremely well. Again, I think it was a rental increase. They re-signed a new contract, so the lease had the new payment price is much higher, and that shot up the return per share, because I own many shares. So when the rent goes up, you get a large portion of that back. If you only own a few shares, the rental price still matters, but it doesn't affect you that much in a big change. So the more shares you hold of that property, the more you hope that the rental price can continually increase each year, maybe 2, 3, 4%. Kind of happened for my Parliament property, my Churchill property. Ombre was the same as it was last month, which was high because of the new rental as well. So the new family's in there and they're paying a higher price, and it means I'm getting a larger return, which is super nice. The rest of them moving down, there wasn't much that was too noteworthy. I have all those Ashley properties and some things like that, but one was that one of the Ashleys had been re-rented. So there was a part of the month last time where we didn't get any rental income because the person had just moved in and they prorated the rent, and then by the time they took out the mortgage payment and all that, there was no rental dividend left. So we didn't get anything. And then this would have been their first full month of paying, and we received the rental dividend from them. So that was a great bonus kind of achievement. And then also, because of Landa's new distribution policy of dividends that I talked about in my last video, go ahead and check it out if you want to know what I'm talking about. But this is going to show that payment distribution model in full effect. So my Hancock shares went from $30.29 to $23.49 per share, not per share, in returns, because of the new distribution model. So last month, there wasn't as many people this month as there is this month holding the Hancock shares. So the less people holding it means we each get a little bit more money. This month we had to share among more people or more shares out there sold. So these properties of mine, the Hancock, the Greenwood, and the Mableton, will continue to shrink because if I'm not buying more shares, then every time other people do buy more shares, I will lose my percentage of extra dividend I'm receiving from them. I knew that at the time when they did that model, and it's a very good short term incentive to get people to get those properties because the returns look a lot higher than they are. But after all 100,000 shares are out, I think the returns might be a little bit smaller than I actually would like. So there is that to keep in mind. And definitely, if you're a little bit confused about what I'm talking about, go ahead and check out my last video. I promise I explained it a lot better. But yes, their new dividend model really affects the multifamily units the most. And just make sure you're not going to get duped into getting more shares when you don't understand that eventually those shares will be paying you less. And you could see your dividends actually going down as more people buy those properties. And now for the return. I'll show you guys here on the app. This is my account. As you can see when I log in, they tell me my value is at $78,000. And that is phenomenal. I love it. I wish I had put $78,000 into this app, but in all honesty, I haven't. All right. So in my contributions, which when I go on to this next page here, you can click on, and you can see I've only put in about $33,000, almost $34,000. So that extra $40,000 they say is growth, which is pretty remarkable, seeing as I've only been investing with them for not even a year basically. I kind of got into their first three initial properties, which two of them are gone now, but they still have one. And of those three properties, it was like, I think over a year ago we could get into them. And now, then they waited till January to release most of the new properties that are out there now. And then we have all of those basically earning my returns at the moment. But I'm going to show you guys here, if I click on one, why I don't think these returns are real. So when you go to the property page, you can see, okay, this account went up 174%. Like, that's crazy numbers. So you'd be like, I want to see what's happening. How did this work? And you first, you click on it, you need to actually go to the property page. So at the bottom, click the green one that says property page. And this is Ombre. And when we're at the property page, you can see right now they're asking for $9 per share. That is a little bit large because it looks like your average return would be about 7 cents per share. So you're definitely under the 10% rate. Otherwise, you'd be looking at like 9 cents per share. But it's not that bad. So what you could do then is see, how do I know that it's selling for $9 a share? Who's making that price? Who's saying, how could this happen? So you click on the order book, and this is where I think things get interesting. In the order book, you can see the sell orders and the buy orders, and what they're doing is they're taking the smallest sell order and saying that is the value of these shares, which is crazy because just because someone's willing to sell it for that much doesn't mean people are willing to buy it for that much. Otherwise, the shares would transact and they would connect. So that selling price could potentially be much higher than it should be, depending on if people are selling close to the asking price or not. No one would pay $35 for a share, but someone is selling a share for $35. And if they valued our shares at $35, my return would be unbelievably large. So you can tell all of them are like this. This one also, it's $9 a share selling and $8.01 for buying. Like, there's a spread because if they were connected, it would just sell the house to that person and then there would be no more transaction. So it is almost nearly impossible for them to actually give you the real price of the property because they would need to find out like what's the difference between the biggest buy and the smallest sell, and then maybe figure out like what's the median ground would be the best option. But right now they're just taking the lowest end of that sell order. Um, I don't think that's true because an $8 to a $9, a $1 spread on that, it's too much. I mean, you think about if you had over 1,000 shares, a $1 spread means that you're losing $1,000. And actually, there's a part of your portfolio you can see how many shares you own in total. And in my total shares, I have almost 9,500 shares of all different properties. If all of those are on a dollar spread or more, you would be looking at maybe I'm down $10,000 from what it says my actual return or a value of my portfolio is. So that is one thing to be cautious of is I don't think their returns or their estimated value of your properties is true. By no doubt, you never have to sell. So if you wanted to put your price at $9 and say, I'm only going to accept $9, then you're going to hold on to that property until someone's willing to pay $9, which could happen. So it's not necessarily saying it can't be that much money for you. It's just basically saying I don't think that's the true value of what your portfolio holds. Nonetheless, I really enjoy it, and I love seeing the numbers when I log in, and it makes you feel good when you're like, oh, look at this return I got, and I really think it's strong. The main key here for me though has always been the rental returns, the dividends. So I'm always looking at the properties with the best dividend returns. I'm looking to purchase the properties with the best dividend returns. And I know appreciation is there, but it's not really my key aspect of what I'm after. When I go into the stock market, that's when I'm looking for appreciation. That's when I'm looking for growth in the stocks. But when I'm in real estate, I'm looking for more of my dividend return or my rental income. So that's kind of what I keep in mind and how I differentiate those. By all means, you guys can pursue whichever order you feel is best. And there is growth to be had on Landa. So if you find properties and you're like, wow, that seems really undervalued, maybe I could get a lot for it. You should, and I highly encourage it. And you'll just collect some small dividends along the way. But if not, then at least give this a try where you just look for the house with the largest return on investment or ROI. And I think that is the best option for me anyway. And when I do it, I just put all the properties that I see for sale and figure out which is the best price for them or what is the price that I find acceptable. And then I can place some buy orders. And I never actually have sold any of my shares recently, so I wouldn't recommend doing that, especially if you're a long-term investor. I think the Landa app's going to grow. So anyway, that's all I have for you guys here today. I really hope you enjoyed it. I love these Landa updates, and I love this app, and I think it's just going to continue to keep getting bigger from here. I'm really looking forward to those new properties. I know we've been waiting for a long time, so hopefully the Landa team can get that together for us and give us some more investment options. But I'll catch you guys next time on Coaching F.I.R.E. Bye-bye. Subscribe, share, and like.